Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. We got Lions on the road in San Francisco, Monday Night Football. As far as Sunday, it was a good one for me. I had a very good 1 p.m. Window. I had a very good early window. Did lose the Packers in the afternoon, but as far as the 1 p.m. window, I did very well. So I had a profitable day. You love to see it. Lions, 49ers, let's talk about it. Welcome to the SWUS. Hey, get the sauce. All right, like I said, Detroit's on the road in this one. The 49ers are catching 3.5 points at home. Total sitting at 50.5 across the board. Let's take a look at the pie charts. And according to the data, everyone you've ever met is betting Detroit. Your neighbor, your mailman, everyone you've ever met is betting the Lions in this game. 90% of the tickets, over 90% of the money. As I always say, though, take this data with a grain of salt. So let's get into this one, and we'll start with the last time these two teams met. It was in the NFC Championship game. The Lions blew a 21-7 lead in that one. 49ers ended up getting the win to go to the Super Bowl. It was an awesome game. 34-31 was the final score, but we're not talking about last year. We're talking about this matchup right here. So let's start with the Lions offense against the 49ers defense. Detroit should definitely have the edge on this side of the ball. They're second in yards per play, second in success rate. 49ers defense fourth and 23rd. Getting off the field has been a problem for San Francisco's defense this season. The biggest mismatch on this side of the ball is right here. The Lions' offensive line, which is the best in the NFL when it comes to generating space in the run game. They're first in adjusted line yards, third in run blocking grade, fifth in yards before contact against a San Francisco defensive front that's had problems staying on the line of scrimmage all year. So this is definitely a mismatch here. The Lions' offensive line generating push against the San Francisco defensive front. On top of that, San Francisco is not healthy in this department. Dre Greenlaw is not going to play in this game. Also, can't think of the guy's name. He's suspended. Not that he was playing particularly well anyway, but the guy that's been playing in Greenlaw's spot for most of the season, or the first half of the season, I should say, he's out. I can't think of his name. He was on Green Bay last year. Wow. It's Devondre Campbell, by the way. I literally paused the recording to go look the name up. So it's Devondre Campbell. He's suspended. They're thin at linebacker. Also, Hargrave is still out. That's not new. He's been out for a while. So stopping the Lions' offensive line from absolutely bulldozing them in this game is going to be an issue for San Francisco. Now, it did look like they were getting their shit together a little bit there. Last week against the Dolphins, I don't know what the hell happened. They allowed 5.76 yards per carry, over 55% success rate per rush. They allowed 167 yards on the ground on the road in Miami. The Dolphins haven't been able to run the ball in 2 months. That is definitely concerning considering you're about to play the Lions, who probably have the most dangerous rushing attack in the NFL. Maybe now that there's no Montgomery, they're not the most dangerous rushing attack in the NFL. But as long as that offensive line is healthy, which it is, they're a top 5 rushing attack. I know there were a couple games in there where it looked like the Lions' run game was starting to come back down to earth, specifically the Green Bay and Buffalo games, which were their 2 games before the Bears game. They were held to 3.2 yards per carry. Green Bay and Buffalo might be 2 of the hottest run defenses in the NFL. Last week on the road in Chicago, they had no problems running the ball. 4.7 yards per carry, 147 yards on the ground. So against the 49ers, who do not have a good run defense, they're not healthy. Lions are definitely going to be able to run the ball in this game. Or I shouldn't say are definitely. Lions should definitely be able to run the ball in this game. Now, what about the matchup for Jared Goff throwing the ball in this 49ers secondary? Well, they're without Charvarius Ward. We pulled up the graphic before. There's no Charvarius Ward in this game at corner. The 49ers in the second half of this season, they've been running a lot of single high safety looks, a lot of cover 3. Since week 10, they're 5th in single high safety frequency, and they're 3rd in cover 3 frequency. So a lot of single high safety looks, a lot of cover 3. That could be a problem because Jared Goff is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL against both. Against single high safeties this year, he's 2nd in the NFL in completion percentage, 3rd in yards per attempt, 3rd in pass rating, 8th in turnover-worthy throw rate. Against cover 3, 4th, 7th, 1st, and 7th. So the coverages the 49ers have been running in the second half of the year, Goff's got elite numbers against. Also, we have to talk about how the 49ers pass rush has been basically non-existent. Since week 10, they're averaging 2.7 seconds to pressure. 30th in the NFL. They've been bottom 3 in the NFL in seconds to pressure. So this pass rush for San Francisco has not been very good at all. Now, Jared Goff's been great handling pressure, but you give Jared Goff a clean pocket. It's averaging 9.4 yards per attempt and a pass rating over 123. Second in the NFL in both. So, yeah, the 49ers not generating pressure. That could be an issue as well. Now, if you do plan on taking the 3.5 with San Francisco, I have a couple things for you here. Number one, the 49ers pass defense hasn't been all that bad. In their last 3 games, they're allowing just 6.1 yards per attempt, just 171.7 passing yards per game. That's good, but success rate and pass rating aren't that great. So although the raw numbers look great, some of the efficiency numbers really don't. That being said, if you are planning on betting San Francisco, you like to see that they've actually been defending the pass well. In fact, they've been pretty good against the pass this entire season. Also, this game is outdoors, and we know Jared Goff on the road outdoors. I mean, here are his numbers from last year. You can't even compare them. Yards per attempt, 8.1 to 6.5. Touchdown interceptions, 5 to 4 on the road outdoors. Pass rating drops from a 101.7 to an 82.3. So he's on the road. He's outdoors here. That being said, he just went on the road to Soldier Field in December and had one of the best games of the season. 23 of 32, 336 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a 137 passer rating. Now, I know that game was against the Bears, and the 49ers defense is obviously a step up in competition, but with all the injuries, with no Charvarius Ward, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a step up. It's definitely a step up in competition, but I'm not super worried about Jared Goff outdoors here, especially considering the weather's supposed to be fine. 49 degrees, no wind, no rain. I mean, the weather fine here in San Francisco. Quick disclaimer, and I can't believe I have to say this. This is a screenshot from weather.com. I didn't conjure this weather report. I didn't make it up. These aren't my predictions for the weather. I'm giving you the weather report from weather.com. So if the game happens and the weather is not this, you are mad at weather.com. I can't believe I have to say that, but this is a screenshot from weather.com. I don't know. That's all I can give you. I am not a meteorologist. Overall, on this side of the ball, I'd have to say it's a very favorable matchup for the Lions offensively. They should definitely be able to run the ball with all those injuries. 49ers have struggled against the run all year. It's a favorable matchup for Jared Goff against the cover 3. So, yeah, I mean, the Lions should be able to score as many points as they want here. On paper, that is. We know these NFL games are not played on paper, but on paper, Detroit should have no problems moving the football in this game. Now, what about the matchup on the other side? We got the 49ers offense against the Lions defense. San Francisco slight edge on this side. I mean, these are the full season numbers. Pretty close. Lions offense, 26 in yards per play, 7th in success rate. 49ers defense, 4th and 14th. Now, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a prediction on this side of the ball. On the other side of the ball, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, the Lions offense, based on the information we have, based on the current state of the 49ers defense, the Lions offense should be able to move the ball. But on this side of the ball, the lead story for both units is the injury report. I mean, the 49ers offensive line is in a situation here. Trent Williams is out at left tackle. Aaron Banks is out at left guard. Burford, the guy that was playing in place of Trent Williams, he's out too. That's their third tackle. He's out as well. The right tackle, McKivitz, he's listed as questionable. He missed practice on Friday and Saturday. So it's looking like he might not play. So if he doesn't play, Trent Williams is out, Burford is out, McKivitz is out. That's their top 3 tackles and their left guard out as well. This 49ers offensive line is completely right now. And by the way, as I'm sure you know, they're still missing Christian McCaffrey and Jordan Mason as well. So this 49ers, I mean, specifically the run game, it's a mess here. The offensive line is completely screwed. Running back room is a mess. But the crazy part is you can say the exact same thing on the other side of the ball. I mean, I'm sure you already know this. The Lions defense, 5 of the original starting 7 when it comes to the defensive front out here for the Lions. Carlton Davis, who's been their best corner this year, he's out as well. So the Lions defense in just as bad a shape as the 49ers offense is, maybe even worse. And we've already seen these injuries start to take effect when it comes to the Lions defense. In their last 3 games, they're allowing 32 points per game, 7.5 yards per play, success rate over 52%. Remember the Bears game, they won that game comfortably. Caleb Williams threw for like 340 yards or something in that game. It wasn't the Lions defense that blew the Bears out. It was the Lions offense that blew them out. And at the same time, I mean, how much do we really trust San Francisco offensively right now? In their last 2 games, they're averaging just 11.5 points per game. Now, 5.7 yards per play, 42.8% success rate indicates it hasn't been quite that bad. But this 49ers offense doesn't look good at all, and they're more injured right now than they have been at any point in this season, and they're not playing for anything. They're mathematically eliminated. So I don't know how much I trust the 49ers offense either, even against an injured Lions defense that really doesn't look all that great. Do the 49ers have anything that resembles a rushing attack right now? In their last 2 games, they're averaging 72 rushing yards per game, 3.9 yards per carry, success rate under 33%. Yes, I know Guarendo is back, the kid from Louisville. He's back in the backfield. So they do get one, their RB3 is back, but the offensive line is missing 2 additional pieces. So the offensive line is more injured than it has been. Not to mention, Kyle Shanahan loves those zone runs, just like his dad did with the Denver Broncos. On the season, the 49ers are 4th in zone run frequency, plays right into the strength of this Lions defense. They're 3rd in yards per carry allowed, 3rd in success rate against zone runs. Now, the Lions defense obviously more injured than it has been for most of the year, so they're probably not this good against zone runs right now. But still, with the 49ers offensive line, with the running back situation, I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to run the ball in this game, which means the 49ers offense rests on the arm of Brock Purdy. So let's take a look at the matchup for him throwing the ball in the Lions secondary. Data points are all over the place here when it comes to the 49ers throwing the ball. Look at their last 6 games here. Weeks 14 and 16, they were excellent. 319 passing yards, 10 yards per attempt, success rate over 62%, average passer rating 113.9. But weeks 11, 12, 13, and 15, absolutely terrible. 5.7 yards per attempt, under 149 passing yards per game, average passer rating 71.6. Yes, I'm aware that one of these games was in the snow, but the other 3 were not. So when we're looking at the last 6 games here for Brock Purdy, we've got 2 great games and 4 terrible games. Now, some good news if you're betting the 49ers. I mentioned earlier how since week 10, the 49ers are 30th in seconds to pressure. Well, the Lions are even worse than that. They're 32nd. Detroit is really struggling to generate pressure right now. So you would think that means Brock Purdy should have some clean pockets to throw from. Been pretty solid from a clean pocket this year, 9.1 yards per attempt. That's 4th in the NFL. What worries me a bit is the Lions blitz a lot. They're 2nd in blitz rate, and we're talking about 2nd, 3rd string offensive linemen. So even though Detroit's really been struggling to generate pressure, I really don't know what to expect from this San Francisco offensive line in terms of pass protection. As far as the coverage matchup goes, we know what it is with Detroit. 1st in man coverage frequency, 1st in cover 1. They've been doing the same thing all year, did the same thing last year. That's bad news if you're betting San Francisco. Brock Purdy has really struggled against man coverage this year. 20th in completion percentage, 15th in yards per attempt, 33rd in passer rating against man coverage. He's 8th in passer rating against zone. So like I said, he's really struggled against man coverage this year. I think a big part of it is missing Ayuk, because Deebo Samuel just cannot beat man coverage at all. So without Ayuk, they just don't have the weapons to beat man coverage. Now the Lions are missing Carlton Davis, who's their best cover corner, but I mean, I've seen 4th and 5th string corners lock up Deebo Samuel. He just can't beat man coverage. He can't create separation. So Brock Purdy against man coverage, even with clean pockets, not something I'm really in love with. As a whole on this side of the ball, if I'm being honest, I really don't know what to think. There's a lot of moving pieces here, a lot of injuries, a lot of question marks. I really don't know what to expect in terms of, I mean, the 49ers aren't playing for anything. Technically, neither are the Lions, but Dan Campbell made a statement saying that they're going all in for it. I forget exactly what he said, but he made it clear that the Lions have no interest in taking their foot off the gas or anything like that, which is probably what you would have guessed Dan Campbell's going to say and what you would have guessed the Lions are going to come out and play like. So I would imagine we're going to see the Lions' best fastball here. They should score a lot of points. On this side of the ball, though, I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Purdy has a big game against this injured Lions defense. I also wouldn't be surprised that without run support, he really struggles. That side of the ball is just one big question mark, in my opinion. So when it comes to betting this game, I mean, maybe the Lions team total over is the way to go. Maybe the first half team total over. What is that? Lions first half team total over 13.5. I like that. What about Lions team total over? Oh, it's juiced. I'll see what I can get. So Lions team total over 13.5 if you can get that. Lions team total over 27.5. I see a plus 100. I think the Lions do cover. A little worried about the defense, though. And I mean, I really don't know what kind of effort we're going to see from San Francisco. So if you're asking what my favorite bet is, I'd say Lions team total over 27.5. As far as playing aside, I mean, I guess I'd lean towards Detroit, but I'm a little worried about this line. I mean, the entire world is betting Lions minus 3.5. Everyone's on that, and I just don't see the line moving. I really don't know what's going on with the line. I would imagine every single person is betting the Lions. I don't know anyone betting San Francisco. That's not exactly a spot I like to play into. So I really don't know what to do. Maybe Lions team total over 27.5. Maybe I'll place that. Live show 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll let you know if I ended up betting anything. As of right now, I don't have a bet open on the game. We'll go through this. We'll go through the NBA slate, some college basketball. If you're able to make it, we'd love to see you in the comments. Be sure to bet responsibly. Talk to you later.